Welcome back, everyone. It's the Like a Bad Neighbor podcast, episode 4. Justin, this is my co-host Justin. My name is Mike. How you doing, man?
Ah, lovely Sunday.
Lovely Sunday.
After being practically snowed in, Friday night into Saturday, got to
Yep.
shake a little dust off the car.
It's a little surprising the amount of snow we've gotten here in the Northeast, especially on Long Island here. The past couple of years, it really hasn't been too bad, but now every time it's snowed so far this winter season, we're getting 4 or 5 inches plus. I think we got dumped like 8 inches. So, yeah, very interesting winter. I was thinking about buying a new car soon. I was like, should I go for a sedan, but no, I think I'm just gonna do another SUV once it's time. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
all you have to do is slip and slide like once or twice, and you're like, yeah, I'll stick with my all-wheel drive or like four-wheel drive.
yep. So, all right, man. So we are in week 17. We're gonna cover some of the games here, and then we're gonna move over to a couple of very controversial topics, specifically with the Ravens and John Harbaugh, that situation. We're also gonna talk about the Jets off the field kind of stuff going on too. But yeah, we had a couple of very interesting games here. What do you want to start with, Justin? What do you think was the most impactful game this week so far that you've seen?
I mean, to me, the most interesting game that I watched, I think, the entire weekend was the LA against Houston game last night.
Okay.
I really was impressed by Houston.
Hmm.
I gotta be completely honest with you. They did a really good job of shutting down LA and a pretty dynamic offense.
Hmm.
And they're the hottest team in the NFL, dude. Eight
Yeah,
straight, I believe.
8 straight. Um, really good stuff. You know, Nico Collins, he's an all pro. I mean, CJ Stroud's really coming into his own, hitting a stride. I didn't get to watch really any of the game because I was at work yesterday, but I was listening to some of the game on the ride home, and there was a lot of like stops happening toward the fourth quarter that were were turnovers. There was just a lot of chaos during the end of that game. Uh, all in all, Texans took it 20-16. The Chargers are still, they still hold that last like wild card spot, right, for the AFC.
Yeah, and that's pretty much a lock. I think they clinched being in. I don't think another team can come in and top them with 11 wins on the season,
Hmm.
but it definitely raised some question marks as to like can they hang with the big boys? They have the talent.
Hmm.
I feel like I feel like I've felt that way about a lot of Chargers teams. Like for whatever reason, they just can't figure it out, whether it's just terrible special teams or they get hit by the injury bug. But
Yeah,
it,
I took a
yeah,
couple of notes like on my car when I was like sitting in traffic, and one of the radio guys was saying that Herbert took like 5 sacks yesterday, and that's like the sixth time this year. That offensive line does not protect him, man. That's tough.
it, it it starts with them struggling. I feel like in the early downs
Mm,
because now like listen, Herbert is a great quarterback. He can bail you out of um, a lot of those times, both with his arm and with his feet.
hmm.
But at the same token, it takes some heroics for him to have to do that. Now, I want to tip my cap first and foremost to Houston.
Mm.
I mean, D'Amico Ryans has come in and done a phenomenal job at coaching. He should be in heavy consideration for
This
Coach
is
of the Year.
third. This is third straight year making the playoffs, right?
I believe so. And
It's
not only
impressive,
that,
man.
dude, we got the wrong defensive coordinator. I mean, he already had the head coaching game, but we got the wrong defensive coordinator
Hmm.
from the 49ers, man. We
Yeah,
we got, two out of the three. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So,
yeah.
I mean, and listen, I think Salah's actually a good defensive coordinator, but I think Wilkes inherited that um defensive coordinator gig after having a really good built up defense in San Francisco. And
Hmm.
I remember when he was brought on, and I don't want to reopen an old wound, so I'll make it short and sweet.
Hmm.
But he inherited that defense, and that defense got worse. It was still a good unit overall, but it got worse after he inherited it. And a lot of that, and once again, I'll go back to the main point. D'Amico Ryans, I feel like, had a huge hand in that, and now he's come in there and he's turned. I believe Houston might have the best defense in the entire league.
Yeah, I mean, you could put up an
They
argument
and
for that.
they're good in all the facets of it. They put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, and let's face it. I mean, LA doesn't have a great line to begin with, and they're missing some starters already. Like Joe
Mm-hmm.
Alt, like really hurts them, not him not being healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's the reason he got sacked 5 times. It's a combination of bad O line play and really really good defensive line play by the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans, I mean, they got some solid guys like rushing the pass, like Derek Barnett, 2 sacks yesterday. You got Daniel Hunter, Danico Autry with the sack. So yeah, they're doing something right over there, man. They're gonna. I feel like they're gonna be making noise in the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
I think.
and they got a lockdown corner in Stingley.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's every bit legit as former near and dear legend Sauce Gardner was to us.
For sure. And why don't we just hop over the next game on Saturday? It was an awesome game. Ravens 41-24 against the Pats. Derrick Henry with one of the all-time games. He had, 4 rushing touchdowns? He had his Al Bundy moment, poke eye style. It's incredible,
he
man.
had 3 in the first half alone.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know
listen,
what's crazy? He's done it 7 times in his career, hitting 3. But that was his first time doing it in the first half. So...
Well, I mean, look, I don't know if you remember this. I feel like an unofficial nickname or official nickname was like the Yeti. Dude, just in cold weather games, he shows out.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yesterday was, if you were worried he lost a step, and maybe he has, but if you were worried that, listen, in a situation where Jackson had to leave the game, or did he even start, or he left the game? Left the game. I'm forgetting.
Might have
But
left.
Huntley played the majority of that game, but
Yeah.
I mean, listen, they knew they were going to have to rely on him to carry that offense, and
He
he
did a
did.
pretty good job. He's 16 of 20, 107 yards, 1 TD. Not bad, man. And I mean, with the Steelers loss today against the Browns, it's going to come down to the AFC North battle of the trenches, man. Going to be a great matchup. Steelers and Ravens. The question is though, is John Harbaugh going to start Lamar Jackson over Tyler Huntley, or you let Huntley take it? That's remain to be seen, but. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on like his injury status now.
Well, I think you actually brought up um, there was an article that came out, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but it was an underlying, it seems like, tension between Harbaugh and Jackson.
So the Baltimore Sun came out with an article. I don't know if you would consider this a hit piece, but a lot of people, especially the Baltimore Ravens fans, are upset with the way the direction of this team is right now. I feel like Lamar is at a point where he only has 2 years left on his deal, right? I feel like an extension is either coming or they're going to look to trade him. And if you want to call it a hit piece like this, I feel like they're trying to do whatever they can to get him out and devalue him. In this report, John Harbaugh was, I guess, they're at odds, obviously, him and Lamar. A lot of what this article read was that Lamar has like really bad practice habits off the field. He like stays up really late at night playing video games, and I kind of can relate to that, but he does fall asleep apparently in these team meetings when they're early, and a lot of the time the past couple of years they've been pushing back their practice schedule to accommodate Lamar Jackson's sleep schedule, which is not good, because if you're running like especially like mini camp and training camp, you want to have these guys go out in the dead heat of summer because Lamar can't wake up at a normal hour in the morning. That's not good, man. That'll affect the team long term. It probably had something to do with his injuries. If you want to really dig deep into it, and not only that, it's just like John Harbaugh is saying that he feels like Lamar Jackson has a lot of growing up to do, which is not good, man. It's definitely not good.
Not a good look from a guy that's what, a two-time MVP.
Two-time
Like
MVP. Yeah.
that's like not what you want to hear out of a franchise quarterback.
I feel like he just doesn't respect John Harbaugh anymore. I think they just grown tired of each other. That's just the impression I'm getting.
You and I have had a discussion about like what makes a great coach a few different times. Both off screen and even on here a little bit. But
Hmm.
he was one of those guys that had a Joe Flacco who ran a completely different type of offensive scheme because Joe Flacco was a very like tempo based pass volume passer, and he completely switched his offensive system around to accommodate Lamar Jackson, and he thrived in it obviously, and
Great
it
point.
was a good it was a really good run. What would scare the heck out of me though is if you don't grow up or you don't figure out how to let your game evolve when you're a super athletic guy like Lamar Jackson is. And I'm not saying he has lost a step yet, but at some point Father Time is undefeated.
Right.
So it has
Absolutely.
to happen at some point. And I just don't see enough growth as a passer to ever think that once he loses that step that he's going to be nearly as effective as he is now. And also, he's gotten a little bit more brittle. He's getting banged up and he's taking his lumps right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's learned how to protect himself from his rookie season to now. I'm not that as a runner. I've seen a little bit of growth there,
Hmm.
but every now and again he'll still make that boneheaded mistake or he'll lower his shoulder.
Right. He's
And
too aggressive when
yeah,
he's on
you
the
just
run. And it's like, you know what? Like people give him crap for like his injuries and stuff like that. Let's not forget he's been in the year 8, 9 years now.
yeah.
He's missed 16 games. It's not that many in the grand scheme of things. Okay. Um, Now, who do we have to blame for here? Maybe it's Harbaugh. I think you blame Harbaugh for all of this. Why? Because he enables this. He accommodates him. He doesn't say, "Hey, I'm going to fine you or bench you if you don't attend these meetings or these practices at a normal hour." Why not be a leader, set the precedent? And not only that, he's going to bat for his guy in the media. He always talks him up. He never says anything bad about him. I guess you have to be media trained to some degree, but I mean, if things are coming to a head like it is, you don't want to find out about this coming out of a damn newspaper. You know what I'm saying? So it's very
No, yeah.
interesting to see what's going to happen, especially leading up to next week, man. It's a very important game.
Well, listen, winning seems to heal all wounds in a lot of ways. So if they're able to pull this out against Pittsburgh, which part of me is really hoping they do anyway, because I would just love them to stick it to Aaron Rodgers.
Hmm. That would be
But
that would be so good. I would love that.
but that said, like if you're absolutely right, if they end up losing, they end up missing out on the playoffs. I feel like you're going to hear a lot of noise coming out of Baltimore
Yeah.
in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. And why is all this stuff like coming out now? Hasn't this been a thing for a long time now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've been together for how long now? We don't even know how long this has been going on. You know,
Hmm.
so but
No, 100%, 100%. And but it is, you're right. The timing of how and when this has come out
very weird.
is also quite intriguing. I know.
Yeah. Now, if to be honest, if looking at it from a non-biased perspective, if John Harbaugh gets the axe here, where do you think he goes?
I mean, I'm sure he'll have a pick of jobs. I mean, look,
How about that Giants position?
I was just about to say. I mean, listen, you get a chance to to go from a place where you've forged quite a legacy already, and now you can take over a Giants team that potentially has a franchise quarterback already.
Hmm.
So you just got to coach the guy up. You would think.
I think that'd
I
be a
feel
great
like that
landing
would be
spot.
a yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys take a year off. but you never know. You don't know what type of
The Harbaughs are
what type
such
of moves.
football guys, though. I feel like he wouldn't take a break. Like, they're psychopaths, man.
Well, there's certain guys we wish they did take a break, like maybe Adam Gase.
Yeah.
But hey,
Oh man, what are a couple other games that were pretty meaningful as far as the impact for the Jets? Um, Needed the Colts to lose today. They did. They held the lead against the Jaguars for a little bit. Philip Rivers was doing okay, but I mean, Trevor Lawrence got the last laugh there. 23 of 37, 263 yards. They pull out the win, 23-17. Um, Good game, man. Good round pound and ground game, running game for both sides. Travis Etienne Jr., 17 carries, 76 yards. Jonathan Taylor, 21. I guess you can consider that like a pedestrian performance, 70 yards or run of the mill type of thing. But still solid either way. Parker Washington again, just been lighting it up every week now. 8 receptions, 115 yards. Man, 12-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. When was the last time you said that? Not the
well,
Jags, man.
you saw Lawrence go off the last 2 weeks through the air, and now his biggest plays were with his feet.
Hmm,
2 rushing
yeah.
touchdowns
Oh
today,
yeah, yeah.
and to me, like he's locked in, man. He's got some ice water in his veins. He's making big plays when he needs to,
Yep.
and quite honestly, like I said, I said this a couple of weeks ago. They surprised me. The win against Denver surprised me, but they have to be taken seriously at this
Yes.
point.
Yep. And we might have just watched Philip Rivers' last play in the NFL. He got taken out late in that game. He was 17 of 30, 147 yards, 1 TD. Riley Leonard ended up coming in for like a series, didn't do anything. But now they're saying like Riley Leonard's probably going to start the last game for them. So, oh well.
I think it was a nice little story. It would
Yeah.
have been interesting if he was able to rekindle some magic, and I don't think he played like super poorly,
Yeah, he was okay.
but he had some limitations. I think we all saw it,
He just looked
and
exhausted out there. Every time the camera panned to him, he's just like he's got all these red marks on his face, just like out of breath. Like you feel bad for him.
he's a grandfather,
I
dude.
know, dude.
A grandfather.
It's crazy.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But no, listen, they had a nice little run early in the season. It's a shame what happened to them.
Mhm.
Daniel Jones going down like really obviously hurt that team in a large way. Losing Sauce for a couple of games down the stretch, they might have been able to win
That was
like
bad
one
for
other
them.
game. But yeah, listen, as much as I feel bad for them, like I'm glad we have their pick. I'm glad they won't be a playoff team.
Absolutely. One other game I want to get to, just because I have a rooting interest in this team ever since my team, the Jets, have just been just an embarrassment to watch. The Tampa Bay Bucks keep it in house. Shout out to Maddie from the Pewter Report. We got to get you on for a segment soon, man. He's a beat writer for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Very important game today against the Dolphins. They needed this win in order to shore up that division, but they did not lose. They did not win it. They lost in heartbreaking fashion, 17-20. Can we talk about Baker Mayfield? He is a household name, right? And he's getting all of his receivers back, like Godson, who am I thinking? Mike Evans,
Evans, Godwin.
Mbuku. They're all coming back healthy, and they still can't put together wins. They've lost 8 of their last like 9 games now. It's not good, man. It's very disappointing.
Our good buddy Todd Bowles, head coach of that team. Listen,
Salute to you,
were,
Todd.
I'm just saying, were you impressed by his tenure as a Jet? Was there
No,
anything that suggested he would make a really good head coach in the league?
not really, not particularly.
I think that he's been masquerading as someone that's had a good impact on this team. Remember earlier in the season, through like the first quarter of the season, Baker Mayfield was an MVP candidate.
Yeah,
So his play
they
is
started
definitely
five and
fallen.
one, dude.
Yeah,
That's insane.
listen, his play has taken a step back over the course of the season. He's missed some of his guys for bits and pieces of that, but it didn't seem to bother him or bother them early on in the season. So, I can't tell you and point my finger on exactly what went wrong, but
Uh, I mean, they can't stop the run. It's been a huge problem. Um, Giving up way too many rushing yards. Uh,
They missed
drop.
Bucky Irving for a while too. I think he missed like a good portion of games. So the running
Yeah,
game does hurt.
he
Their
was in
running game
today,
hurts.
but their running game hurts too. I mean, they only amassed like 50 something yards total running. Bucky Irving had 9 carries, 19 yards. Not good, man.
No,
Rashad White 2 carries, 10 yards. Nothing, man. Um, Man,
if you become one dimensional,
Baker, man,
it's
his passing game is so elite. 44 attempts, 33 converted, 346 yards, 2 TDs. Um, he did throw 2 bad interceptions. Took a couple of sacks, but the man could throw the ball. He needs protection. And that it's a tough spot, man. They're just giving up a lot of bad plays. It's unfortunate. They had a missed field goal that could have tied the game. That could have been a 2020 going into overtime. They muffed that kick, but Quinn Ewers 2-0. Interesting.
the answer, the future. The future is bright in Miami.
I
No,
guess.
but listen, they're the weirdest team in the NFL this year.
Mm,
I
by far.
really and this isn't Jets malice in saying that. Like I could care two flying rats rear ends about how well Miami does this year.
Yeah.
But listen, Tua obviously wasn't the answer. You learn that by the end of the season, but it's such a weird team, man. They could come out there and beat a playoff caliber team,
Mm-hmm.
but lose so poorly to like bad teams. It made no sense.
Yeah.
Another thing, just as a complete side note, like I looked when I was on like Tankathon, looking at like strength of schedules because that has when
That
your
could be a
records are
tiebreaker.
identical,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the tiebreaker. So I was just kind of looking at that. The Broncos and the Patriots, two of the top teams, obviously in the league in the AFC,
Mm-hmm.
they're both of their strength of schedule is like sub 500.
Wow.
And the point I want to make is this: like, while they're good teams and they've won against some quality opponents, they beat the teams they were supposed to.
Hmm.
They didn't play down. Like I feel like we've seen that a lot with the Bills this year. Like the Bills have like played down to their level of opponent like multiple times, and it's come back to bite them.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, y- some of this is you just listen. You're the Giants. You're going up against a Vegas team that's not very good. You took care of business on the
Mm-hmm.
road.
Yeah.
How did Miami, who on paper should be talented enough to be in the hunt for the
Well, yeah.
playoffs?
I thought they were going to be in top of the division. I didn't expect the Pats to be as good as they are.
Yeah, but I'm
So
saying I'm
that was the
saying the
beginning of the season,
Dolphins.
but
The Dolphins heading into the year had a puncher's chance just as much as anyone else
yeah.
in that conference to make some noise. And look, they obviously have some talent, and obviously I don't the stuff going on with Mike McDaniel's. Who knows if he survives this season, and they keep him on
Mm-hmm.
to coach this team in the future. But they're playing hard for him. They
They are.
really are.
I think his job is saved for next year. If he was going to lose those last, I don't know, 4 or 5 games, I mean, we thought he was going to be fired like mid-season, But he's actually strung together a few victories, and they're finishing up strong. What are they, like 3-4-0 in the last three games? I'd have to fact
Yeah,
check
no,
that, but
they've made a huge jump up. I'm looking. They won. They're 7-9.
great improvement. So with
7-9.
Yeah, so with that said, with that game, the Buccaneers are going to have to play the Carolina Panthers week 18 for the NFC South. All is on the line. Carolina lost against the Seahawks. Um, I guess I'll eat my crow. I thought, I posted something on TikTok about our segment last week on the Panthers, and my tag for that video was is Bryce Young elite? I don't think he's elite, man. Not just yet. After that performance,
He might never get there. I thought
you
Stroud
got to
was
beat good
the
teams.
quarterback.
If you
Well,
want to be considered elite, you got to beat good teams.
is any of it like the pre-draft concerns. He's a small guy. He can't get the ball over the line. That's a big adjustment for him to have to make. And listen, he also, you get Tet McMillan back, so if you were going to go, aha, now he's got his primary weapon back, and
Bro, one
didn't
reception,
help.
5 yards today for McMillan.
Didn't help.
54
Didn't help.
total yards passing. Not good. After such a good week against, who did they play last week? Panthers played the Bucks last week. I was right. Yeah, they squeaked to win.
2 games.
Yeah.
They had 2 games.
Two
like,
out of their
that
last
close.
3 games. Yeah, two out of their
Wow.
last 3 games are against the Bucks. That's pretty interesting.
That's a hell of a stretch run.
Yep.
I would not want to, like, that's, to me, that's bad scheduling. The NFL's like got these guys playing each other.
I want
twice
nothing
in the last several weeks of the season.
that's pretty impressive, actually. I want nothing more for Baker Mayfield to just like go all out week 18 and that just be a Cinderella story going into the playoffs. I just hope they don't get curb stomped in the first round if they do make it, but that's very, very likely. But we'll see.
Listen, they're playing at home. That stadium should be rocking.
Yep.
You have most of your guys back, like you said, healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So sets up very nicely for them to pull this out and get in.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Steelers-Browns game for a second. The Steelers are in big trouble, especially going to next week playing the Ravens, who are on a high from beating the Packers last night. Who broke their arm today? It was their tight end. I'll put it on the screen, but
yeah,
you got DK out next week because of his suspension, and now one of your bigger targets is out with a broken arm. And the way Rodgers played against the Browns this week, they're in trouble, man. It's not good.
No, you needed to win that game. I mean, that's a game that should have been just.
And Shador didn't play good either. I mean, well, he was okay. He was serviceable. 17 of 23, 186 yards, 1 TD.
I know they have a good defense. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Browns. Like,
I saw a little.
You put up 6 points against that team. You put up 6. You didn't even score a touchdown.
You could tell Rodgers was scared shitless of Myles Garrett, man. I think they were just trying to avoid him at all costs and just threw off their whole scheme.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, listen, you were talking to me earlier today about like the fact that they don't want Garrett to get the sack record against Rodgers. He didn't want he did and you want to know what? The way they played that game, I 100% believe Aaron Rodgers was not going to, because you're right, deer in headlights.
Yeah. It's just flashbacks to him on the Jets. But yeah, that's what that reminded me. Freiermuth is going to have to come up huge next week, and if you guys are on fantasy, well, the Super Bowl for all you fantasy owners was this week.
Pretty much, yeah.
If you are taking player props next week on FanDuel or wherever you make your bets, put all your money on Pat Freiermuth, because he's going to be targeted heavy in that game. So he was their lead receiver this week, 63 yards. I mean, it wasn't anything great, but he was definitely the most targeted because they have nobody else. I mean, you got Valdez Scantling, who's, 21 yards today. Nothing. So.
Yeah. I mean, we can definitely, at one point we should probably do some sort of player props, because this time of the season there are a lot of incentives that these guys are playing for that you might not necessarily realize, and the players know about it. Players always know about it, and they're going to look to get their guys the ball and make sure, like Breece Hall, for example. I mean, he finally
1,000 yards. Woo! 111 yards today. Very nice.
and as soon as he made a 60-yard house call, suddenly his knee started hurting and he got taken out of the game.
Dude, when he scored that touchdown, he was going into the ramp. I was like, is he done? Is he just gonna like bench himself?
He injured his knee on the way down the tunnel. He just, that's what it seemed like, dude.
That was the only takeaway in that game against the Pats. Other than that, Drake May is a pretty damn good football player. Brees Hall finally hit 1,000 yards. Probably the most quiet way to do it if you want to talk about running backs hitting 1,000 yards in a season. Uh,
In
I
what could be his last game as a Jet.
Yeah, or home game as a Jet, or yeah, I mean they might just shut him down after he hit the 1,000 yards. I mean, why not? Like, who cares? What are you gonna go up against the Bills? We'll see, but um, yeah, it's been the first Jets running back to hit 1,000 yards in a season since Chris Ivory. Shout out Chris Ivory. Um, yeah, the only other takeaway from that game is that the defense is unbelievably pathetic. And with 2 minutes to go, let me just see. With 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, I believe, the team was down like 25 points at that point, right? You had Jordan Clark on 3rd and 3 knock a pass out, deflected a pass from Stephon Diggs, and then this asshole gets in his face and starts talking trash. And then they negate it and call a penalty on him, and then they continue the drive. How stupid do you have to be? The Jets just are the most undisciplined team in the entire league, and you referenced it last week. With the offensive side of things, it's just so
It's
pathetic, man.
you're not like, listen, when you're relying on a guy like freaking Brady Cook to lead you to victory. Look, I'm just saying, like, and the numbers were really deceiving because he hadn't even eclipsed 100 passing yards midway through the third quarter. Like, they just, like, it was garbage time. They let him move the ball at the end of the game, maybe out of pity.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, like, that team just on both sides of the ball, when you make terrible penalties and you're putting your team in a hole, you can't expect a guy like freaking Brady Cook to bail you out. He's not Drake May. He's probably the antithesis of what Drake May is as a quarterback. No, but bottom line is, you can't you can't shoot yourself in the foot. You can't be third and long, every single time. You can't be so predictable that on the ground that everyone knows you're rushing the first two attempts. I feel like we're back to the Adam Gase era again.
Yes. Which is why we need to talk about the quarterback stuff. Okay. We're gonna spend a little bit of time on this. Okay. I know you're gonna disagree with me with all the stuff that's coming out with Lamar Jackson, right? Bad practice habits, doesn't respect his coach. We need his talent, and we are in no position not to take him. I will give up 2 first-round picks if that's what they ask for. We'll take the hit on the cap too. We cannot put the ball in the hands of a rookie quarterback under this horrible regime. We need somebody with veteran presence who knows what they're doing. I'll let you speak on this. Let me know what you're thinking.
You're hurting my soul. You're hurting my soul. This is one of those things that we disagree on. But look, how many times have we been anointing saviors on this team? How
Not
how
that
many
many.
years have we been mired? Well, no. I'm just
Hold
saying.
on,
How,
hold
how
on a second. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. How old were they? 40 years old. How old is Lamar Jackson?
29, 30,
28.
28.
28. Has a couple injury problems. If they shut him down for the rest of the year, which they probably will, even with the North, the AFC North on the line, he has plenty of time to get ready. They may get rid of the coach. He may want out.
Okay, so look, you had a rookie head coach going into his second year. You have a team that, once again, they're trying to build a culture, and you want to bring in a guy that's disrupting what should be a really, really good culture, and also a guy who I feel like won't age well on this team. I feel like at this point, if that's the way the GM wants to pursue it, if that's the way Muji wants to go, okay. I think they'd be much more better served going for a bridge guy. If you don't like the guy that's sitting there when you pick, and this team has so many holes that I don't want to give up a significant amount of draft capital when
Yeah,
a
but I'm
lot of those
saying
could be
like
premium picks.
with this hit piece that came out with the Baltimore Sun, they're trying to devalue him. I feel like we might be able to get away with a first round pick and maybe a second, maybe not 3 first round picks. We might not have to give up a ton to get this guy. He's a 2-time MVP. He's been in the league 8 years. People are talking about his injuries. He's in the grand scheme of things, he's only missed out on 16 games. It's not that much. I think he has a lot of lower body issues right now. He needs to obviously change his habits. And I feel like him working with a fiery guy like Aaron Glenn, I feel like he would respect him. I feel like Aaron Glenn wouldn't put up with that crap. He's not going to bend over for him to make him happy. He's like,
Well,
if
you
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 want to
give up
play here,
three, you give up you give up first rounders, and I think it'll be more closer to like 3 picks. I think you'd have to give up 3 first rounders to get him. I don't think they entertain talks and with anything less, to be perfectly honest. But I don't know. Like, listen, it's very, very early in the off season. We have no idea what could potentially happen.
yeah.
But if they do decide to move on, someone else is going to offer more than a first and a second, I think, for Lamar Jackson. But maybe, listen, I could be wrong. We thought there were going to be other teams involved when he was a free agent, and it seemed like no one was really as interested as much as the Ravens were.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, they Lamar Jackson obviously thought he was worth a lot more than what the Ravens, I think, initially offered him too, and he had to come off of his price. And if he's going to stick around with the Jets and deal with everything that comes with being a New York Jet at this point, he's probably going to want even more money than he's making right now. And at that point, do you want to pay him?
We'll see. I mean, I've wanted Lamar Jackson even before we went after Aaron Rodgers, and at that time, 3 years ago, he was worth way more than just 2 first round picks. But now, it might be the time to get him. We'll see.
I think if you gave me the choice of blowing up our next 2 years for the draft to get Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson, I probably would take Joe Burrow if those were my
You and me
choices.
agree on that. Okay, we're on the same side for that. But if that's off the table, if Joe Burrow has no shot of coming here, this would be my plan B.
Yeah, and even so, listen, I think you have the opportunity. Like, I think you and I are in the same boat on this. If it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, at this point, just do it the right way.
I'm
I
just
mean, I want a consistent
I
contender.
want somebody who knows what they're doing, Justin. Like I'm so sick of like building up these guys like Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold. It just didn't work out with them, man. Like we gambled on the first round, second round picks. They didn't work out. We need somebody that is athletic enough, knows what they're doing, can handle it, can run an offense, who's not 40 years old.
Well, set the culture up. Look, I don't know what's going to come of it all. Both of us don't. But I think you have a tremendous amount of draft capital at this point that you can really build a
It's a
good team. And
it's a
you've
good
seen
problem to
other
have.
teams.
We need
You
pieces. We need pieces on defense, man.
you need to cash it in, dude. You need to cash it in. But guess what? Would it be so terrible if you ended up with the second or third pick in this draft, and if there's another team that wants to move up? I'm not in love with any of these quarterbacks.
Me
I've made that
neither.
very, very clear. I think next year's draft class would be far better. I think some of the guys that will come out in this draft know they would not be able to get nearly as high of a draft selection if they went out the following year.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling that the like Mendoza I think has to come out, and I don't know if Dante Moore will, but I I would imagine he's probably the third or fourth guy in next year's draft at best at this point.
I'll tell
So
you
to
my
me,
I'll tell you my
so to me,
plan.
if you're sitting pick three and you have the opportunity to trade with another team that's hungry enough to get a guy like that, then listen, I'll be damned. Trade back to fifth, sixth, seventh, wherever you got to be. There's a couple of really nice defensive players. You could get yourself another really, really nice piece. And I
Mhm.
think the biggest problem that the Jets have had is the fact that like when you bring a young guy in, you didn't surround him with a ton of talent. Now you
That's true.
actually have a line. I feel like you have a line to build around.
We do.
Maybe you get one more piece to the line. You re-sign Vera Tucker, and now you're cooking there.
They need a wide
Address the
receiver
defensive.
too.
They need a wide receiver too, but you got a couple of that. You listen.
Got a
You
nice
might have
couple of
something
guys.
with Mechie or Mitchell.
I don't think Mitchell's going to be that guy, man. I really don't. The past couple weeks just really not impressed me at
Well,
all.
but he doesn't. He's being relied on to be the number one guy that stretches out a defense right now. If you put him in a more complementary role, or even like a wide receiver three type role, you might be very surprised at what a guy like that can do when you have other guys that are the all of a sudden the primary focus for defenses.
Hmm.
And quite honestly, like they need a better defensive scheme. They need better defensive players that fit that scheme.
Yes, 100%.
When we have been good, our defense has carried us, and that trend needs to continue. And now that you gave up Big Q, you gave up Sauce. Those are probably your two most talented defensive players.
Hmm.
You gotta restock the cupboard, man.
It's all in the hands of Muji at this point, right? Um, he's got to hit on this draft, man. Whether it be going after the quarterback that they want or trading back possibly to get a lot of defensive pieces. I don't know what direction they're going to go in. All I know is if they don't do any better next year, Aaron Glenn's gone, and they better hire an offensive-minded coach and then maybe draft Dante Moore. That's my plan C.
That's your
So,
plan C.
yeah.
I'm telling you right now, dude. I would love if maybe I'm speaking this into existence right now, but as of this moment, I would love nothing more than to pair up Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith together. If that's even if the chips fall in that direction,
Okay.
dude. I know it's a pipe dream. I know it's crazy, but as of right now, you get those two Ohio State kids. You'll have Garrett Wilson with the Ohio State
Ooh,
connection. I
yeah.
don't care if you want to call us the Ohio State Jets. Like I really don't. I feel like at that point now you're really cooking,
Yeah,
and that would get me excited heading into year three of the Glenn Muji regime.
for sure. Well, we got one more thing about football to talk about, and we're still on the Jets here. Uh,
Oh,
I kind of want to move on to the Jets, but we have to talk about it. Um, why don't you lead off with things here, man?
oh, you're talking about the kicking debacle, aren't you?
Yeah.
This to me is the epitome of what it is to be a completely clueless, classless organization.
Hmm.
Um, they had advertised that they had this kicking kicking contest to kick a field goal for 100 grand, and they had brought this woman on who was I believe like a coach in I think Long Beach. She was a woman soccer coach, and then they had encouraged her to kick in this contest.
Yeah,
And
and I
then
was reading she played for Stony Brook, 2010 to 2014, on the soccer team. So she's had kicking experience, right?
mhm.
Um, I guess whoever wrote the insurance policy for this giveaway thing, I guess it didn't meet the criteria, so they pulled back and reneged on the opportunity for her. And then, out of the kindness of Woody's heart, because he was receiving so much backlash, he allowed her to participate in today's field goal. Um,
I don't even know if she won. I hadn't
I
even heard it.
haven't heard anything on Twitter.
I
Did she kick it?
I don't
Like,
I don't even know. Like
there's
I don't even
nothing.
know. But but the bottom line is, dude, only how do the Jets how do the Jet like, dude, the what should have happened in the end. So I guess that's progress, maybe.
Yeah,
But dude, if you're gonna flame out like that, how do you how do you first
the guy.
advertise that this woman's in the contest? Then you let it get to the point where now the media picks up the story that you're gonna deny letting her come in and kick, only to go backwards. And like if you had
Mind
just
you,
done the right thing, if you just did the right thing from the beginning, this would have never happened.
she participated in this drawing for this thing. in ode to her late father, who passed away, who was a season ticket holder of the Jets. The only
Season
reason
ticket
why
holder.
she goes to games is because of it, to honor him. And you're telling me you don't want her in this contest, regardless of her sports history? Like, come on, man.
In family. She was bringing in like 10 to 15 relatives into the stadium with her. Who else was going to that game anyway? That might have been the entire attendance for the game. That's how pathetic this team has been. All right. You couldn't pay me to show up into that stadium like to watch that absolute destruction to begin with. And we all knew what was going to happen in the game.
Yeah.
If I went to that game,
by the way.
If I went to that game, I would have gone to watch her kick that field goal. To be perfectly
the only reason. At the end of the day, man, when franchises are terrible as terrible as they are long term, it's always because of a cheap billionaire owner. This guy is worth $10 billion. Okay, so she had a slight competitive advantage because of her kicking history in college, but you don't want her to participate and possibly lose $100,000? That should be coming out of your pocket, buddy.
It's not even that too. It's like it's a 20-yard field goal.
25.
A 25-yarder. I mean, come on, like. I feel like I could kick a 25-yard.
I feel like the shorter field goals are harder than some of the longer ones, though.
But maybe for someone like you or me who might only be able to kick it 40 yards to begin with, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. To me, me personally, when I try practicing, yeah, I feel like the field goal post is like too close almost sometimes when you're out like 25 yards. I feel like when you step back to like 30 to 35, 40, it's a little bit easier. That's just me. But anyways. It's just a terrible look overall. I mean, ultimately he did the right thing and allowed her to participate, but it shouldn't have taken that much backlash for him to make that decision.
But you want to know what? It proves two very, very good points. One, the Jets are always going to jet. But two, you better believe we have one of the most thin-skinned owners that will react to media and fan backlash in 2 seconds, because look what happened.
Moral of the story, man, don't become a Jets fan. So, anyways.
If you have a choice, run. Just run in the other direction. Yeah. I don't think anyone would willingly, sign me up for this.
Shit, man. I kind of want to touch on the Knicks a little bit. So still another exciting game. I thought we were going to win by like 20, 25 points against the Hawks. Couple of tidbits coming into that game. The Hawks coming into that game were giving up 120 or more points per game the last 5 games. You have guys like Krejci and Dyson. They're their wings. Krejci is leading the league. I think he's a rookie. He's leading the league, 48.3% from 3-point percentage. He didn't hit like any threes last night. And on the opposite end, you have Dyson. Hold on. So Dyson, on the other hand, one of the best young defenders in the league, right? He is shooting 7 of 53 from 3, 13%. When you're considered a 3-and-D guy, man, you gotta shoot better than that. But the Brunson-Dyson matchup was fun to watch. Yeah, it was a good game. And I'm like watching Twitter as this game is going on. I'm seeing some of the Hawks fans like complain about like their size. They need another big, and I feel like they're going to go after like an Anthony Davis at the trade deadline, because you have guys like Kristaps who are still out because he's sick. The guy is always sick. They need another big. They got a Okongwu who was destroying us last night. 31 points, 14 rebounds. Guy was doing his thing. Thankfully, he fouled out. Knicks had a commanding lead most of the game, but it became like really close. I don't know if you watched the game, but the Hawks cut the lead to like 1 at one point. I think they led most of the 3 quarters, and then Jalen Brunson. I mean, what can you say about the guys? Guys just going on an incredible run. He that fourth quarter, I believe it was like a minute 33 left. He was at like 31 points. He hit 2 straight like step back fades. And then like he hit a dagger 3 and then they went up 124-121. Incredible performance down the stretch. You guys, the biggest takeaway of that game, though, Kevin McCullough Jr. What a game he had. Stepped in for Josh Hart. He had, let's take a look at his line real quick. Hold on. McCullough Jr., 23 minutes. He had 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. The guy was just making all those hustle plays. Like, you could tell, like, Josh Hart has been mentoring this young man. You could tell, like, that's his rookie. I know he's not a rookie because he was hurt a lot last year, but, like, that's his rookie vet, like, relationship. You could see a lot of the same play style and similarities to Josh Hart's game. So, and you even saw Josh Hart tweet out, "Yo, Kev," or something like that. It was cool to see him being home and all. He's not making the road trip, by the way. He's going to be out the next 3 games.
Okay.
He had some pretty good minutes from Mohamed Diawara, 5 points, 2 assists, 5 points, 1 3-point made. OG had the play of the game. I don't know if you saw
that steal of Trae Young.
Yeah, 7.3 seconds left. But before that, you had Mikal deflect a pass that went out of bounds. That was a big play. Huge steal by Anunoby. He had 10 points. 15 points, 5 assists, 10 rebounds. Great bounce back game.
7 for 7
yeah.
on free throws.
Yes.
Listen, that's the type of game, dude, that the Knicks figured out a way to lose in the past.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about a team that's ready and primed to make a big run, I think we saw it, in some of those games leading up to the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
But I just see a team playing really. Listen, that game was on the road in a hostile environment against the King of New York, who, by the way, is only 10-19 against the Knicks. Just throwing that out there. But honestly, like, that's the game that you let slip away from you here and there.
Yes.
And good teams don't let that happen. Atlanta scored 36 points in the fourth quarter. We still pulled the win out.
Huge. Trae Young's stat line, 10 assists, 9 points, minus 13. Not very good. Not very good.
Not MVP like.
Yeah. But Okongwu, man, he's a good player, man. I like him. What else? You had can we talk about Jalen? Well, we talked about Jalen Brunson, but Karl Anthony Towns had a really nice comeback game. 36 points, 15 rebounds. He's probably on that high. He just got engaged to his girl, Jordan Woods, so congratulations to them. Great couple. Good for him, man. Great bounce back game. They got the Pelicans next, so I'm hoping we don't... I hope this is a laugher, to be honest, because they are terrible. I am a little worried about Derek Queen. I hope we can put somebody on him that can stop him. I hope it's going to be OG, because that would be my pick for the one matchup. And then you got the rematch of the Cup, New Year's Eve day, or New Year's Eve night. So that's against the Spurs. So that should be fun to watch. So good stuff. Anyways.
Absolutely. No, listen, if there's one team out there right now in New York that we can actually all like, because let's face it, New York, like, we're so starved for a championship. I don't think it would matter what team at this moment in time won one. I mean, hell, if one of the teams that I don't root for ended up winning, there's always a buzz in the city when something like that happens. It's just a great atmosphere. We really are a great sports town, but we have not been blessed with really great sports teams of late.
Really?
So this is your best shot. So
22-9, not bad for the first quarter of the season. We're a little bit past the first quarter of the season, but very, very good record under Mike Brown's first year with the team.
And playing really well, like coming into their own. You're getting contributions from guys that aren't necessarily your top guys all the time. Like you said, whether it's Kolek, whether it's McCullough, like it just seems like, it seems like there's a guy, and that's, you need that from a team if you're going to make a good run and a deep run. And they finally have pieces.
Yep. I feel like I think Clarkson's on a 1-year deal. I feel like he's going to command a lot of money next year. I'm hoping we can somehow retain him, but he's probably gone if I had to guess. But I'm not going to go that far into talking about it just because I want to enjoy his time when he's here. But It's got
You
to be
might
talked
have
about.
another guy, but you want to know what? Like guys like that, right? There always seems to be a couple of guys that if there's a good contending team out there, they'll take, I don't want to say the vet minimum, but
Mhm.
they can be had for a contract that isn't necessarily as maximizing their dollars. They'll come here to win. And it's
Yeah,
refreshing that guys are willing to do that to come to New York because how often have the Knicks not been a destination for that type of
exactly.
scenario?
And you mentioned it before, the bench. I mean, there's a lot. Okay, I'm gonna take a shot at you Twitter users right now. You guys need to relax. Okay, everybody's talking about, oh, what's gonna happen when Landry Shamet comes back and when Deuce comes back? There's not gonna be enough minutes. Blah blah blah. It's a good problem to have when you have depth 1 through 12. Who cares? When you need a guy, they're gonna be ready. Mike Brown keeps his guys ready. You don't have to necessarily trade somebody because they're not getting minutes, okay? It's one thing if the player makes it a big deal to the front office. But these guys are team guys. Deuce is on a look at his contract. He's a New York guy. He loves playing here. He doesn't I don't think money means everything to him, you know? Shamit, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of like acclimates back into the lineup after this injury, just because every time he takes a bump, I'm like, is his shoulder going to pop out? So it's like, man, it's tough, but we'll see what happens. But it's a good problem to have, man, at the end of the day. So. All right, man. I think we're going to call it here. I think we hit the 1 hour mark. And so that was a wrap on episode 4. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Make sure you tap in, follow our Twitter or TikTok. We're on every platform now where you can get your podcast. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify. Make sure you tap in. Leave a comment. If you disagree, we'd love to hear your opinion on the topics we talked about today. Justin, I appreciate you as always. I hope you have a happy new year. Stay safe out there, and I guess
Absolutely.
we'll start episode 5 in the new year. So,
All right. Sounds like a plan. Like and follow,
yes, sir.
and just keep the good vibes going. If you'd like to see more of one thing or another, then please
Let
let
us
us know.
know.
Drop us a line.
Yes. All right, y'all. Have a happy new year. Stay safe out there. Later.